Be please listen, this is private between us. Not everything needs to be seen, heard, or understood by the world. Some feelings, some truths there are too sacred to be shared, too raw to be placed beneath judgmental eyes and prying ears. What lies between us does belong to them. It does need to be defended or explained. You and I were a different language altogether. One that only we can speak. One that only makes sense in the silence of phone calls and stolen glances across crowded rooms. When I say this is private, I don't mean I'm hiding you. Now God knows I'd burn kingdoms just to say your name out loud. I mean this is ours. It's not for their gossip or their opinions. It's not for their likes or their assumptions. This thing we have, this pulse between us, it's too fragile to survive the noise of the world. It's too real to be reduced to whispers. I need you to understand that I'm not ashamed of you. Not now, not ever. But this world, my world, it has sharp edges and darker corners. And you're light. You're softness. You're the quiet I've never known, the peace I don't deserve. If they knew what you meant to me, if they truly understood how deep this runs, they'd twist it. Who's it? Want it. And I won't let that happen. I can't. You are the only secret I keep, not to hide but to protect. You're the part of me that still feels human in a life built on power and performance. With you I don't have to wear the crown. I don't have to calculate my words. I can just breathe. And in a world where I'm constantly on display, constantly dissected and controlled, you are my escape. My rebellion. My truth. So please, don't mistake my silence for distance. Don't confuse my caution for hesitation. If anything, it's the opposite. I've never been more certain of anything in my life. But I need to keep this safe. I need to build us in quiet before the world tries to tear us down in noise. I need time enough to love you more, because I already do, but to love you right. To love you fully, in a way that leaves no room for regret. So while they watch me from their balconies, waiting for my next move, just know, behind closed doors, it's always been you. Always will be. And no matter what they see or what they think they know, the truest part of me will always live in the moments only you get to witness. Because what we have is not a show. It's a secret written on my soul. And I'd rather guard it in silence than let the world destroy it with noise. I know the world is loud, too loud for something as fragile as what we share. They wouldn't understand it. Not even if I tried to explain. Not the way your name softens the war inside my chest. Not the way your voice feels like a lullaby in a life made of alarms. You see, they only know me as the prince, the heir, the man forged in protocol and power. But you know the version of me I don't show to anyone else. A version who strips off titles like armor when he's with you. Who doesn't speak like a ruler, but aches like a man. That version I keep hidden, not because I'm ashamed, but because the world has never been kind to the things I love. It has a way of breaking beauty, of poisoning purity. And you, my love, are the most untainted thing I've ever touched. They see palace walls, and think I live protected. But if only they knew I'm more exposed than anyone. Every smile is measured. Every step is watched. And in this life where everything is choreographed, you are the only unscripted truth I've ever known. That's why I need this to stay between us, at least for now. Because I don't want them shaping your perception of what we are. I don't want them turning your name into a headline or your face into a rumor. I want to hold you in a world that doesn't need proof or permission. I want to kiss you in places where no eyes linger, where no cameras click, where the only thing that matters is the way your breath hitches when I whisper that you're mine. I want you to feel safe in my chaos, to know that even if I live in fire, it'll carve out quiet for you. So when I pull you closer and say, this is just ours, understand what I'm giving you. Not less. Not secrecy out of shame. And more. And giving you the part of me that no one gets. Not the public, not the press, not even the blood that runs in my veins. You're the one I text when the world feels too heavy. You're the one I think of when I'm standing on balconies pretending I don't want to fall. You're the only name I say like a prayer, like a rebellion, like a promise I made to myself long before I ever met you. And that is too sacred for spotlights. One day he'll tell the world. I'll pull you into the light and dare them to say a word. I'll lace your fingers through mine and show them what devotion really looks like. But until that day, let me keep this where it's warm. Where it's real. Where it's safe. Let me love you without the noise. Let me build a kingdom with you in silence before I let the world hear our anthem. Because baby, when I say this is private between us, I don't mean it will always be. I just mean it matters too much to risk losing. And I swear when the time is right, I won't just tell them you're mine. I'll show them why no crown ever meant anything. Until it bowed before you. There's a reason I never let anyone near this part of me, the part you've seen, the part you now hold. I've been surrounded by people my whole life, but somehow I've never felt more alone than I do when I'm not near you. They all want something, my presence, my name, my power, but you never asked for anything. You only stayed when I had nothing to give but silence. You did fall in love with the throne, the bloodline, or the legacy. You fell for the man who wakes up at drowning in thoughts he can't speak aloud. And that's why this is sacred. That's why this must stay between us for now, because what we have isn't just love. It's a sanctuary. When I'm with you, the pressure fades. I forget how many people expect me to be perfect. With you, I'm not the prince who's next in line and just a man in love, craving moments that don't require announcements or approval. Every glance you give me, every stolen moment we share, feels like breathing in a world that constantly suffocates. And the idea of the world touching what we've built, it terrifies me. Not because I think we're weak, but because we're precious. And the world has a habit of ruining precious things without apology. I dream of the day I'll bring you into the light not as a secret, but as my choice, my partner, my forever. I want to do it right. I want the moment to be ours, not a performance dictated by palace advisors and press conferences. I want to give you more than love behind closed doors. I want to give you a life where we never have to hide again. But before that, I need to protect this. I need to keep the world out, so our roots grow deep and unshakable. So that when we finally step into the storm, we're strong enough to weather it hand in hand. So please trust me. Trust that this quiet isn't distance, it's a vow. A vow that I will never reduce what we have into a headline. I vow that when I finally say your name out loud, it won't be in panic, it'll be in pride. Because what we're building is temporary. This is a fling, a distraction, or a phase. This is the beginning of everything I have waited for. And when I finally give you to the world, it will be with the force of someone who's known all along that you were never meant to be a secret. You were meant to be the crown I chose. Even when I already had one. You don't understand what it feels like to walk through golden halls filled with silence. To sit at tables so long, even voices get lost halfway across. To be surrounded by people who speak to me, at me, about me, but never to me. You don't know how loud that loneliness can get. But when I close my eyes, it's your voice I hear. Your ladder cuts through the cold like a flame through frost. That's why I keep you to myself. Why I tuck you into the corners of my day like a secret prayer. Because you are peace in a world that is always demanding, always watching, always ready to take. And baby, you are the only thing I refuse to give away. You think I don't want to show you off? That I don't want to scream your name in crowded rooms, and make the world memorize your face. Ah, if only you knew. If only you could feel how badly I ache to pull you into the spotlight and say, this is the woman who makes my world turn. But I've learned the hard way the world doesn't clap when you love something purely. It tears it apart. It questions it. It mocks it. It digs and twists until it turns something holy into a scandal. And I won't let them do that to you. I won't let them smear you just because you dare to love someone like me. This thing between us, it was never meant to be shared. Not yet. Because it's still growing, still blooming. And if I expose it too early, it could wither under the weight of their eyes. I need to build a wall around it, not to trap you inside, but to keep them out. You're not a secret. You're a treasure. And treasures are buried deep, not because they're shameful, but because they're too rare to risk losing. So for now, I will kiss you in shadows, trace your name across the sky in silence, and write you into every heartbeat without ever saying a word aloud. Not because I'm afraid, but because I care too much. One day, you'll lift the veil. One day, you'll stand beside me where the whole world can see, and I will not flinch when they whisper. I will hold your hand with pride and stare into every camera like they've captured a miracle.